Now we'll go to the Q&A session. Peter, can you join me back on stage?
Yeah, I'm already there.
Good.
And I will already present the questions what we have received. So what might be also important to be added, we can just answer some of the questions here. We will set up a Q&A on both our websites. So if you have more questions, please feel free to send these questions to us via email. We will collect these questions. We will prepare the answers. And we will publish it on our website. We will update it so you can continuously send us your questions, and then we will always provide an updated version there. So there is a question: who do you imagine being part of the teams? Are you also considering university students?
Yes,
definitely yes.
Definitely
Nadine,
yes.
maybe you can talk about that.
Sorry, you asked me to.
Yeah, Nadine, maybe you can comment on that.
Yes, I mean, university students will be quite important in that. I mean, it's open to anyone willing to contribute to this innovation booster. So definitely yes, yeah.
And especially in the first part where we have the ideation phase that is open to everyone. In the second part where we have to work on concrete projects, then the question is also, can you contribute then to a follow-up project, to a InnoSwiss project, for example, at the end. Then there's a question: what is meant by dedicated support vouchers?
Excellent question. Well, we are still discussing about this one. It will be what we want to give with this dedicated support is really to be able, for instance, to give those vouchers. For example, you have 8 hours, which you can use as you want, as you need to use them. So if, for example, you have to discuss with a lawyer specialized in food, then we will provide you this access, and you could use, for example, 1 hour or 2 hours to discuss specific topics with her or him. So that could be an option. That could be coaching. That would be anything. It's really customized. It depends on the needs.
So what we have seen is that giving money is one thing, but with giving money, you also give away the responsibility. You don't feel responsible anymore. So it's much more important to drive these things forward. And therefore, we would like to provide being a sparring partner, being a active partner to whom you can talk to, with whom you can exchange the idea, how to develop the idea further, what could be questions that should be raised in a succeeding project. So that is all time what goes into this project, and that's valuable time, and that's what we would like to provide.
Yes, because as I said in the presentation, we give the money, but this is just the start. Actually, we want to promote the emergence of something else, something in addition to that.
So what happens if I want to bring in my own business idea for phase 2 or 3? Is this possible? I guess phase 2 or 3, you mean that is after the innovation booster. And so that is something what we would like to discuss with you also in the workshop later on. As Marc Poschardt mentioned, a critical thing is how to deal with open innovation, how to initiate a culture of co-creation. And in our today's landscape, in our today's mindset, we are still thinking in a competitive manner. We still think about, I have to own it, and then that is the best. The question is this really the best condition to develop new ideas? So we have to, there is no solution and no answer to that problem. We have to create this together, and that's what we would like to start with you in this workshop. So yes, it is possible to bring in your own idea, but then you have to think about how to secure it, and the other partners have to also be willing to support that.
But let's say it's not an obligation to start with phase 1 to get to phase 2.
No.
You can also jump in directly in phase 2.
Yeah. Who is this project for? Students, researchers, SMEs? It's for everyone who is willing to develop new ideas further, who work on breakthrough ideas on disruptive topics, so everyone can join in. Then there is then there's the question: how will we create value for the SME landscape? Nadine, do you like to comment?
Can you just show how can we use the platform? Can you just show the question?
How will you create value for the Swiss SME landscape?
Yes, that's why we want to use open innovation, because what we would like to achieve is that the SMEs will be the first one to beneficiate from those solutions, and from those methodology, and from this open innovation way of doing things. And that's why as well we open, the platform will be open for solutions and ideas, but also for challenges. You can come up with a problem and not only with solutions as it's done most of the time. So you can come with a challenge, with a solution, and you will say, okay, I would like to solve this in a collaborative manner. So this is very about collective intelligence. And we think that with this methodology, we can achieve a higher rate. And also with the design thinking methodology, since the prototypes will be validated by final users and consumers at a very, very early stage, we think that those innovations and those solutions have more chance to be successfully implemented on the market afterwards.
There's a question then, how can we use the platform along with InnoSwiss funding, new and old? I'm not quite sure what is exactly meant with that, with new and old funding. This is an additional funding. This is not substituting anything else. So it's an additional funding. And as Mark Pusher said, it's the initial state of launching ideas, supporting ideas to develop them to the next level, where they are mature enough to become a InnoSwiss project, to become another otherwise funded project. So it's to overcome the first critical phase of creating a multi-stakeholder, or using a multi-stakeholder approach, creating a new solution approach, and then building on that further. So it's just for this first step to do that, and it's not either or, it's in addition. And there's another question. I believe you mentioned the participation fee for the exploration phase. Does that mean people going through the design thinking process have to pay? Yes.
They will pay as a team.
Yeah.
These are participation fees for the team.
These are participation fees for the teams as you benefit from that as a team. So imagine you are a team of 5, then you share the costs and everyone pays 1,000 Swiss francs. But you will benefit from a really thorough training. You can use it also in your further setup for other programs. And this shows also this commitment. And what you shouldn't forget, you invest 5,000 and you can gain 22,500. So that's a nice ratio. I guess because of time reasons, we will stop these questions, or we will not stop the questions. We will stop answering the questions. We will continue to collect the questions. As I said, we will comment on those. We will publish it on the website so you can check it. And if you have further questions, please feel free to address them to Nadine or myself via email.